Yeah, awesome.
Hello, everyone. It's me, Mitch Murphy, the Redpill Rapper on ThoughtCrimes.ca. Welcome back to another episode, man. And our sponsor for today is The Resistance. Now, if you want to look cool like your boy Redpill right here and have a nice sweater, what you got to do is look up The Resistance on your Facebook page or email me at redpill@thoughtcrimes.ca, and you can order yourself a very cool and hip hat, sweater, or banner. Now, I've got a very special guest with me today. What is your name, my man? Who are you?
I'm Thrainian, from Summerland here.
So,
And thanks for having me.
absolutely, man. I saw you on my Facebook, on my Facebook feed talking about all these different things that are going on in Burma and Myanmar. And I don't really know anything. I was telling you beforehand, I don't really know what's going on. And I think you've got some family on that side of the world.
Yes, I do. I have some sisters and brother there, and some nephews and niece still there.
And where are they?
They're in Rangoon, which is known as Yangon now.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is used to be the capital, but now it's a commercial hub of the country.
Okay.
Still a big city, but maybe 8 million people there.
Okay.
So it's a fairly big city.
I'd say so. And how are they doing? Are they holding up all right, or what's?
They're okay, but I was just worried about these my nephews and my niece, because they're constantly on the road. Face to face with these cops and soldiers, because this very movement is started by all these young kids.
Okay.
You're looking at like 14, 15 to 20, 25.
That young though, hey?
Majority, yes.
And what do they ask? They're worried that their democracy is getting pulled from them, or what?
Of course. It's you see, past 5 years, it's been really, really good, because they had an elected government for the first time in probably 50 years. That's half a century. And now the coup happened, and they arrested the whole government, including the leader of the nation, which is she's she's a 76 years old lady.
Okay. She was elected.
Of course, she was elected in November for the second time. So past 5 years, she was the state counselor. But here in the West, maybe you might call her as a de facto leader, because she wasn't allowed to be the president, because she was once married to a British man.
Oh, and that's a problem. I don't like the Brits either,
Yeah, but the problem, that's fine. Yeah, the problem in Burma is the new constitution was actually written by the military in 2008.
Okay.
They knew that one day she's going to be big, and they don't want that. So they drafted a constitution banning her from becoming a president.
When?
2008.
Okay.
So, but she was allowed in the parliament as a representative, but her party grew. Her party, National League for Democracy, her name is Aung San Suu Kyi, by the way.
Okay.
She's a Nobel laureate, and she's got, I don't know, a bunch of other awards from, everywhere, which were taken away at some point, some of them. Anyway, she has the potential of becoming head of the state. The military knew. So they drafted the constitution that she won't be allowed to become the president. And the military drafted the constitution giving themselves power too. They have nothing to do with it. But
right.
They have nothing to do with ruling the country theoretically, but they're supposed to, they want to keep that grip on the power.
So,
they maintain a veto. Okay. So, sorry. And then, so when her party won in a landslide, there's no place for her. She can't be the president. So the party created a position for her
Hmm.
called, state councilor.
Okay.
In the West, we call it de facto leader.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the people generally like her.
Of course,
Okay.
because past 5 years, she's the one who nurtured the social economic movement
Mhm.
of the nation, because nobody has that freedom and the economic boom before.
Right.
It's all a hard work, and then all this generation, the new generation who are in this movement,
Mhm.
that are leading the movement. They grew up uh, you know admiring her. She was the inspiration of this generation.
Okay.
She's the one who nurtured these kids.
Now, when you say that, is she capitalist minded, or is she redistributing in a good way, or what exactly is she doing that's helping the economy?
Well, she didn't identify as a capitalist or any wealth distributors or any particular way. Her interest is only to make sure that the country get onto the track,
Okay.
on the right track, because she had to start from the scratch.
Mhm.
When she took power, the nation of Burma, economically, socially, it was at the bottom, right? So in past 5 years, she's the one who bringing in all the international investment into the country.
I see.
Yeah, and she's the one who opened up the eyes of the people economically, socially, you know. So that was the past 5 years, and Burma was doing pretty good. I went and visited a couple of times in past 5 years. I was blown away by the development and the progress she was making.
Right.
And I believe that's one of the reason. I mean, she won again in November 2000 in a landslide, right?
Mhm.
And I believe her next step is to make sure that you see, when you open up your country like that, the country has been under trade embargo for like past 50, 60 years. And when you open up,
Mhm.
you're opening up the tremendous force of enterprise and energy.
Right.
So that means some of the transformations are very fast, right? So there are some people who were left behind too. That's normal.
People that benefited from the old system, you mean?
No, not really. A majority is benefiting, but at the same time, when you open up these enterprise and energy, some people get ahead quick.
Right.
Some people couldn't get ahead quicker because they didn't have a lot of opportunities to begin with.
Right. Right.
So I think her next step is to make sure that these people are not left behind. I believe it doesn't mean that she's leading towards socialism or no.
Yeah.
She wants to pave the way for these other people. I believe that was her next plan, and because recent months, I have seen a lot of her footages traveling across the country. She was face to face with a lot of people.
Right.
Right. So
that's the sign of a good politician.
Yeah.
Hey, if they can walk among the people and not have a problem.
yeah, she is different from the regular politicians, though, because she never wanted to be a politician. Actually,
Okay.
she was put in the place, to do the job for the people because there's nobody to take on.
Right.
And she paid a hell of a big price for that. She was detained for almost 20 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was in 1988, 89. And she lost contact with the family, everything. She did a hell of a big price. and that is one of the reasons that everybody loved her and admire her. They don't consider her as a politician.
Mhm.
They don't even call her by name. They call her mother.
Okay.
So she is considered mother of the nation. Okay, so it is a sad thing that the military arrested her now, and it is here we go again.
Yeah. Now, because I feel like I'm missing something. Because why? Like, shouldn't the military work for her?
Yeah.
What is the dynamic with the military and them doing these things?
Well, the military has a lot of issue because I'm not saying that the whole military. I'm talking about the top level.
Mhm.
I'm talking about the generals.
And right.
Yeah, it's the most corrupt military ever, probably.
Okay.
In that part of the world, and they have a lot of business interests for themselves. So, because the mother of the nation, Aung San Suu Kyi, has suggested in the past that she suggested that military will have to relinquish the grip on the power. That means they shouldn't be in the House of Representatives at all, because that's
Right.
not their job to rule the country.
Right.
So that makes the generals nervous
Mm-hmm.
because they have committed a lot of how do you say atrocities and
War crimes.
a lot of corruptions. They own a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So if they lose the grip, they won't be immune to a lot of charges in the future.
I see. Okay.
So probably those guys are doing their last fight.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, they could do this coup because China was always backing them. To be honest, I think in Asia, China is a big problem.
Yeah.
It's a big problem.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
It is a big problem because China has infiltrated a lot of spies in many governments, and they have a lot of business interests in many countries because China is the country with piss load of people.
Oh yeah.
They need a lot of resources to run that country. So they needed certain countries under their wing because they need the resources to run the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one of the big issues that it is unfortunate that China is backing, because recently I saw a bunch of these soldiers rolling into the city of Burma, and most of them were driving Chinese-made tanks.
Interesting. Hey.
Yes.
Very interesting.
So a lot of government. I mean, it is a shame that, in my view, the nation needs a UN intervention.
Okay.
United Nations should do something about it. But here again, United Nations is a big problem now because I don't want to say. Well, I can say it. I think UN itself is in a corrupt position. Corrupt,
Mm-hmm.
it's corrupt, pretty corrupt now, in my view, because because China has a few bucks now.
Right.
They got a few bucks now, right?
They sure do.
Yeah. So and plus China is a part of the in the UN Security Council.
Yeah,
P5. They're one of them, and they maintain the veto.
Oh yeah, they're on the human rights
Yes.
commissions.
Yes. Yes.
Which
So
is amazing.
past 50 years, Burma was under dictatorship,
Mm-hmm.
and all supported by China.
Weird.
And a lot of nations wanted to go against the Burmese regime.
Mm-hmm.
Who vetoed it? China.
Right.
And there's another problem in the United Nations is the Uncle Putin.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Putin is another pain in the ass there, right? So it is. I mean, not just Burma. I follow a lot of things that is happening, around the world. For example, right now in Russia, you might have seen the news, like Alexei Navalny. He's a prominent opposition leader of Russia.
Right.
They
Yeah,
tried
yeah.
to kill him by
Of course.
poisoning him. Now they jail him, right?
Mhm.
And it's hard to watch all these things, and nobody can do nothing about it. And United Nations, it's like a joke.
Yeah, totally, man. Totally.
Yeah. So
There's these horrible things going on, and like people have a lot of faith in organizations like the UN, but I mean, like Saudi Arabia, they'll throw gays off rooftops, and,
That's right.
and then they'll give human rights advice.
That's right.
To the rest of the
and
world.
don't forget that the Saudi Arabia once chaired the Human Rights Commission in UN. You got to be kidding.
Yeah.
It's
It's insane.
Yeah. I think, UN did a few great things in the past.
Sure.
I've no doubt about it. But I would blame Nixon.
Yeah, is that when it changed, you think?
Yeah, Richard Nixon was the one who rubbed the shoulder of. He went to China and rubbed the shoulder of those killer dictators and invited to the United Nations in 1971. That's when China first came in.
Right.
And then they give them the veto. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
So no wonder his name is Dignus. Yeah.
But what does China want with Burma? Are they just
China has a
their power?
lot of interest in natural resources of Burma.
Does that mean oil or what?
They have oil and gas too.
Okay.
And not much like here we have in Canada, but they do have certain significant amount of resources, right? And that's one of the reasons. Plus, Chinese government is also extremely corrupt government, and these generals and those guys in the Chinese government had a lot of business ties.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mean the military?
Yes.
Business ties with China.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. So that's the reason that's one of the reasons.
No, because I'm trying to wrap my head around when you say the military has ties with that, does that mean that like an individual general will have a company that is profiting through China, or is it groups of them?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So it's individual business ventures that are driving these things. That's incredible.
And there is another problem. Is the military had a lot of not just in business sector. They also want to manipulate and reconciliation process initiated by the mother of the nation, which is Aung San Suu Kyi. She is the first one to initiate national reconciliation in Burma. Burma is made of, Burmese political landscapes got a lot of ethnic groups.
Okay.
Right.
Are they pretty segregated, or is it multicultural altogether?
It is multicultural, but at the same time, a lot of ethnic groups were ostracized and abused by the military regime past 50 years.
Okay.
And she is the first one to come out and reconcile all of them, to be inclusive. And military wasn't cool about that because it makes them lose a grip on a lot of lose the power of grip.
That makes sense.
Power grip on many states and provinces, and they're not happy about that.
Okay. And is the military diverse too, or is there an element to that where
military is diverse? But if you're from a certain ethnic group, you're not likely to become a high rank officer.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the groups?
Well, what are the groups mean? It's got Shan, Kachin, Kayin, Kayar, Mon, Bama, Rakhine, all these.
Okay.
All these different states
Oh, I
different-
see.
different ethnic groups.
So it's not
They
like
speak-
Chinese, Japanese, Canadians.
No,
It's like,
they have their own ethnic groups, and plus Aboriginal nations theirs,
Mhm.
and of course Chinese. We have East Indians there, Arabians there. Europeans. Because used to be owned by. Burma was a part of the Portuguese Empire back in the 1600s.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a part of the Portuguese Empire. The viceroy was, I believe, it was Francisco da Gama. That's the grandson of Vasco da Gama.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So and then the British took over in the 1824, I believe. The first British general arrived in Burma, probably 1824. I believe it was Archibald Campbell,
Mhm.
the Scottish general. If you're from New Brunswick, you might know him because he used to be the lieutenant governor of New Brunswick.
Okay. All
Anyway,
right.
he was the first to land in Burma to do the invasion. So British left in 1948. So we have a lot of British people still living there too.
Right.
A lot of Portuguese descendants.
Mhm.
It is multicultural.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
the military is very nationalist. They do not want to give chance to a lot of different ethnic groups and different people. And Aung San Suu Kyi was the first one
Mhm.
to initiate the reconciliation. She wanted to be inclusive
Right.
of everybody. She was the first one, and that doesn't fly with the military either.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. It makes sense that the young people are more on board with that, though, right? They're more
of course,
accepting.
of
and-
course, because now these generation, I would say, here in North America, we have generation like Ronald Reagan generation,
Right.
like guys like Marco Rubio, right?
Mhm.
They're Ronald Reagan generation.
Totally.
If you were in South Africa, you have Mandela generation.
Mhm.
The generation in Burma is right now is Aung San Suu Kyi
Right.
generation. She is the one who nurtured them, right? And she's the one who give them freedom, and she's the one who opened up their eyes, and
Mhm.
they don't want to lose it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, once you get a taste of that freedom, you just don't want to let
There's
it go.
no
right?
way. Yeah, not a chance, right? So
Absolutely.
they are fighting really hard. And like I said before, it is heartbreaking for us to sit and watch.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not like 1940s.
Right.
Now it is 2021. We still have to sit and watch that? You
Mhm.
got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
So it is heartbreaking because I was born there too. I have these nephews and nieces. They are out and about on the street. Face to face with those soldiers. Those
Yeah.
guys. They declare martial law now,
Okay.
and they got full authority to shoot. The other day, they just blown up some people's head, right?
Really? Civilians?
A civilian.
Oh, man.
Look, they are carrying combat weapons against the peaceful protesters.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? I've seen these riot police in other countries. They do carry like Mossberg,
Sure.
500 series shotgun.
Yeah.
A riot control shotgun. I've seen them. Even in Europe they do that. But
Yeah.
did they shoot? No. But now here in Burma,
Mhm.
against the peaceful protesters, they are carrying not RPG, RPD. Are you familiar with the Russian machine guns?
Not really. No.
Okay. So RPD is the Russian 1960s model, 650 rounds per minute.
Whoa.
Okay.
It's mass
Uh,
casualty.
And it is 7.62 by 39. That's deadly bullet. Okay. And they're carrying it, and they're also carrying, the cops are carrying the BA-93 SMG.
Okay.
That's a submachine gun. SMG, that,
And we're not talking about rubber bullets, are we?
no,
This is-
they're live
Holy
rounds.
shit, man.
You're talking about live rounds. Look, I'm glad I can talk about this. they are carrying SMG, which is BA-93 SMG.
Mm.
That is, it is a knockoff version of Uzi.
Okay. Is this
But
on the news? Do people know about this?
certain news talk about a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really a highlight because the news media is if they don't if they there are a lot of shit show going on around the world.
Yeah.
They only talk about it if that particular news serves their purpose.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure do.
So that's what's going on. That's why I feel bad for the people of Burma. It's heartbreaking, And the other day, a 16 years old boy got his head blown off. Like it was just, I was watching live actually. Somebody was shooting, doing the live footage.
Yeah.
And he's got his head blown off. And I
God.
was looking at what kind of gun is that? They were using the Hackler and Koch G3. That is G3. Yeah, that's NATO 7.62 by 51 millimeter.
And he was a protester, the kid was.
Well, the kid was, peaceful protesters.
Right.
So that's what's going on. And
are you saying that the Russians are selling them the weapons?
Of course. Russia is another problem, right? And
that's where they tie in.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because I've seen that Burmese general just a couple of months ago, he was in Russia. So I think they've been cooking about this. They've been planning.
Right.
Yeah. For this coup.
Conspiracy.
Yes. Probably. But a lot of people believe that China involved quite a bit. And Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
So, yeah, because I was at a completely unrelated protest on the weekend in Vancouver, and another protest came in, and I couldn't get a grip on what exactly they were protesting, but there's a lot of signs about Myanmar, and they were chanting "Stop killing innocent children," and there was a lot of signs against the CCP, against China, and stuff like that. And the organizers of my event, they actually let their organizer come up and do a speech, which was cool.
So that was in Vancouver then.
Yeah. And they that's also what kind of piqued my interest a little bit more. And wanting to talk to you because I'm not too sure what's going on, but those guys were very serious, man. They were very passionate.
Yeah, and these, like I said, they're very young people, and now they have in a bigger cities, there is a movement led by a group called Generation Z.
Okay.
Z or Z or whatever you call it. How do you say the letter Z? Z?
Z?
Yeah,
Z.
Generation Z.
Zer.
And they are very young people.
Okay.
And I salute them because they don't even sleep. At nighttime they were up on the roof writing these slogans on the roof so that their message go out.
Right.
They're like hoping somebody in the from the space can see it.
Right.
Oh, they are writing all these slogans on the road, on the river with floating letters, and they don't even sleep. Yeah,
that's incredible. But it's the youth that can change the world, isn't it?
Exactly.
And change the nation.
And in Burmese history, most of the movements are usually led by college students, university students, high school students. It's pretty common.
Yeah. And so what does that make you think about what you see out here? Because out here, kind of up until, I think it's changing a little bit, but as far as the youth that are mobilizing here, it's a lot of like the BLM guys and then the Occupy Wall Street guys. In my characterization, I would say they're calling for more government, more regulation, higher taxes, stuff like that. What's your take on a lot of those movements in comparison? Like,
Well, it is quite different movement because you don't have you don't have the dictatorship like dictatorship has all certain different forms nowadays. Now,
Funny word, right?
Yeah, it is. So to be honest, it's hard to compare, but
The stakes are sure different, hey?
yes, but at the same time, the theme is the theme is similar, but the nature is different. I would say, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. And with your family out there, are they safe or?
They are safe because my sisters live there. They're older people. Some of them are retired. So, but the kids are not safe.
Okay. Are they?
Because every single kid from your house is not in the house. They're on the street.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can't stop them because they said
they want their freedom.
It's their future they have to save.
Yeah.
And they really want the message out so that people around the world know what the hell is going on. But sometimes, like I said, the message sometimes really go clear.
Right.
It might reach you, but it's something. It's something. It's like something happen all the time type of thing. To me, it's not like that because liberation of Burma is like a symbol of liberty to me.
Sure.
Because they have gone through a lot
to get to the democracy, right?
To get to that point. Now here we go again. The military took over again, right?
And with them locking her up, are they putting forth any charges that she's done something?
Yeah,
wrong?
I heard some ridiculous charges. They are trying to charge. There is a prosecutor appointed by the military. Basically, he is looking for charges against her.
Right.
But nothing is very clear because they can't find one. So they raided her party's headquarters and took away all kinds of paperwork, and they are studying it now. They postpone the trial schedule because I believe they can't really find anything. Right? First, they accuse her of voter fraud.
Okay.
Yeah. So
heard that one before.
So they threatened the military threatened the election council. The election council says no, there's no fraud, right?
So they looked and they can't find.
There's no fraud. So
man.
They got pissed off and they arrested her, surrounded her house with a bunch of soldiers, and that's it, right?
And she's got no sway over them. Like they won't listen to her. I mean, obviously not if she's in jail.
They won't listen to her, of course not, because they want her out. Because in Burmese culture, the culture is they listen to mother,
right?
Because she is considered as the mother of the nation. Everybody listened to her. Nobody's going to listen to the military, right?
Yeah.
So they really hated her bitterly.
The military did.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when she won the election second time, landslide, and she's going to control almost 80% of the seat in the parliament.
Wow. And
that freaked them out.
Oh, I bet.
Oh yeah. So because she has already initiated certain comments she made in the recent past. She said the military shouldn't be in the, in the parliament, having the executive,
So does that mean they're voting? The military's putting in votes on bills, or what does that mean that they've been doing?
The system, the Constitution they drafted in 2008.
Yeah.
Said the military representation will hold quarter of the seat.
No matter what.
No matter what. They're not elected.
Wow.
They're not elected officials, and they're going to maintain the veto.
Okay. That would be like the
Yeah.
Bloc Québécois saying we get a quarter of the seats in Parliament no
Yeah,
matter what the
similar.
voters say.
Yes.
Wow.
But at least Bloc Québécois is voted by some dudes there.
Right,
That
right.
in Burma that's what I mean, a little bit different.
Right, because they're
Yeah.
they're not a party at all. They're
They're not even voted. They're just
holy shit, man. That's crazy.
So she's been putting up with it.
Yeah.
Not because she accepted. She knows that if you want to succeed, you got to be in the flow first.
Right, right.
So she was staying in the
moving.
flow first, and the first term she did hell of a good job. Economically, socially, country was improving, and then people are totally solid with her. That's when she started making a comment that military shouldn't be in the parliament. She did make a couple of comments, bit by bit, right?
Right.
Yeah. So and people knows that she's right, right?
Of course.
So that's when the military started to get scared because they got a lot of business interests and they have committed a lot of crime in the past. If they lose the grip on power, they're likely to go to jail.
Right.
They know that. So I believe that's their last fight too. And people are doing the last fight too. Yeah. So that's going to be I hope it won't take too long because if it takes too long, the only one that suffer will be the people.
Of course.
Yeah. So now UN has certain kind of wishy-washy, fluffy resolution, telling them we denounce the military government, blah. It doesn't mean nothing. Those guys don't care.
Yeah.
And then the U.S. is now saying that okay, we're gonna put the sanction on you guys. Look at Cuba. The sanction doesn't work.
Right.
Who suffer? People suffer.
Always.
So now the U.S. is saying, "Oh no, we're putting a special sanction on the military regime members." It's kind of a joke because let's say you go to Tim Horton, okay, you go to Timmy, and you ask for a bowl of chili, and then they say, you know what, you're a bad guy in town. You abuse your family, and we boycott you. We won't sell you a bowl of chili. And he said, I don't care. I'll go to a Chinaman restaurant and have a bowl of chow mein there.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. United States said we're going to put sanction on you guys. No problem. We got buddies in China, right?
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Yeah.
So, but who suffer? People suffer.
The people.
So, like, Cuba is a good example because I go to Cuba. I got lots of friends in Cuba. How many years now? They got nothing left.
Yeah, I don't think Fidel ever suffered from those sanctions, right?
Fidel was going away, getting away with it. And he's got, like, I don't know, a few houses, smoking a good cigar, and he was having a hell of a good time, right?
Of course.
So what Burma really needs is, I believe, it's a real intervention. Yeah.
But that, and like this, I'm bringing this up, and I totally from a layman's perspective, but when I hear about China's involvement, I see our government cozying up with China. I see Biden cozying up with China. I see the UN cozying up with China.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't that make it worse, having the UN come in? Like, couldn't they, like, are you sure that they wouldn't help the military? Are you sure they would help the people?
Well, UN have a good, nice, mandate and theme. It's just a theme and a mandate. On the ground, it doesn't really work because, like I said, Security Council itself, got China and Uncle Putin vetoing.
Right.
So let's say if somebody wants to, suggest that let's go into Burma and, kick the crap out of the military, China would, China and Russia would veto. They've been doing it for past 40, 50 years.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Because that's their buddy, right? And when Burma got independence in 1948, it was a thriving democracy.
Okay.
Do you know who ruined it? China and Soviet Union. Do you know what they did?
What's
They
that?
funded and they helped all the communist movement
Oh,
just
I see.
to ruin the whole. Oh yeah, so country went down the hill into a civil war.
Right.
When the civil war happened, of course, the military general got an opportunity that okay, the country is in a chaos. I'm gonna take the power for maybe 6 months to make sure everything is right, and then he never give it back to people.
Right.
That was
Right. Isn't that
I'm
weird?
keeping it.
It
Right?
is.
Yeah, I'm keeping it. Yeah.
They love to do that, man.
yeah.
These people.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I feel like I'm getting a better understanding because like that protest that I saw, there was blacks and Chinese people, and there's all different types of people in there.
In there,
you know,
yeah.
all different ethnicities, even some white people, not many,
Yeah.
but some white people and East Indians, and
Yeah.
it must be that they're all coming together in
Yes.
unison against this.
They are
this
united. They are united.
That is
for
amazing.
sure. Yeah.
That is just
Mhm.
amazing.
Mhm.
And if the UN doesn't step in, what do you think's gonna happen? Because I mean, the protests I'm sure they're falling on deaf ears with the military, right? They don't
If
care.
UN doesn't step in,
Right.
it's likely to be the tension's gonna be getting higher
Mhm.
because past 5 years, the mother of Burma has tried hard initiating national reconciliation with all the ethnic groups.
Mhm.
They're gonna revolt again, and then if these things are not settled in time, it's gonna go backwards, like back in the day. Here we go, another civil war.
Okay.
So that's bad for people.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Are they an armed population? Do they
Yes,
have guns?
the ethnic, every state
Mm-hmm.
has their ethnic, the armed groups.
Oh, like militias.
You would call it Malaysia,
Okay.
militias,
Okay.
but they don't call it militias there.
Mhm.
They just call them Liberation Army of the state,
Okay.
Liberation Army of that state.
Interesting.
They've been
Okay.
fighting forever since 1948.
Oh, so the states will fight each other.
Yes.
Okay.
No. State don't fight each other. They fought against the Burmese military regime.
Oh, really?
They don't fight each other.
Okay. Okay,
No.
I understand.
They all want to be free.
But the military's been giving these guys a hard time forever. You're
Of
saying?
course, because this is what happened. Okay, in 1948 when British gave the independence, the Burmese national leader,
Mhm.
General Aung San, his name was, he was assassinated. Actually, he was the father of the mother of Burma right now.
Mhm.
He was her father.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he had a great vision for Burma. He wanted the federation idea of all these states, given them the opportunity to have their own government.
Mhm.
And Burma is going to stay as the central federal government, right? So that systems he initiated and he accepted that because it is fair. But when the communist movement came and when the civil war happened, the country went down the hill, and then the military took over. The military didn't accept that federation.
Okay.
You can't have that.
Right.
Everybody's under my grip. You can't have your own government. Like Ottawa telling you that BC can't have your own government.
I see. Okay.
So they said that doesn't fly with us. So they go and fight. Of course,
Mhm.
they go and fight. So it's been fighting forever. Past 5 years, Aung San Suu Kyi, the mother of the Burma, is the
Mhm.
first one to do the reconciliation.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yes.
So she's been quelling these fights between individual states and the military.
She's been pulling everybody together,
Okay.
right? So becoming peaceful now. Now here we go again. If the
Right.
military took over, if they don't settle the issue on time in the near future, it will go backwards to like back in the day.
I see.
Yeah,
Which wasn't that long ago, hey?
it wasn't long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
That's dark, man. That's really dark.
yes, it is dark. So the one thing I can understand is that the whole world have to sit and watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know that it's wrong and you can't fix it.
Right.
You know, this is not like 1800 or 1940 or
Yeah, yeah. We're watching.
yeah. So people talk to me, oh, what is UN doing in Burma? I said, UN's eating snack given to them from China government. I said,
Right.
it's. I be honest. UN is corrupt now.
I should think so.
Yes.
I think they all are. The WHO. I think
Exactly.
all these institutions.
Yeah.
Because you look at where a lot of them are getting their money from. It's a lot of Chinese money. It's a lot of guys like Bill Gates. You know, these people that have people in countries that have long history of sneaky behavior. You know.
So over the past century, we thought that the world is improving. Actually, not really. It's still somebody can be bought out easily. Still.
Yeah, and it seems like all the power structures everywhere are just tightening their grip and bloating bigger and doing these
so
things.
I can guarantee if they don't resolve quick in the near futures, those ethnic people, ethnic these whatever you call it, militia, or they're gonna revolt again because they're only cooperating in the Union of Burma.
Right.
It's all because of that woman.
Right.
That lady, she's the one who's pulling everybody together. They all loved her. That's the only reason they're still waiting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't solve that problem, you know, the civil war is coming again. I can guarantee that.
Well, it's sure concerning, man, because I know young people, when they have that "don't tread on me" spirit, they won't be stopped. You know, they won't be stopped, which is a very scary thing when you're talking about military involvement and powers like that. That's a very scary thing.
I agree with you. Yes.
And how much investment does China and Russia have? Like, what I'm wondering is how far are those auxiliary countries willing to go to make sure that the military maintains their power in there? Like, do you think they would step in and assist the military if there was an uprising? Or
I'm pretty sure they will do. Look at Syria.
Right.
The Russians are all over the place.
Totally.
I mean, I believe Obama should have gone in early enough, but I think he was a little bit. I don't know why he didn't do it. It became what a mess. Right? What a mess! That you know who got that? Russians got it. Russians got a grip on Syria now. Yeah. Right. So same thing. You know, in Burma, if somebody don't go in early enough to liberate it, all those dictators got a good grip on it. Yeah. Well, look at the past history. You see, look, I really respect people like General Douglas MacArthur. He was a great American general in the Pacific War, but he screwed it up in Korean War. You know, he didn't win. You know what happened to Korea? Look at that. Right. The North Korea, Chinese little buddy. And look at that. I mean, the guy even killed his own uncles. Yeah, oh yeah. What a guy, right? That's like the worst nightmare, isn't it? That North Korea. What an idiot, yeah. You know, same thing and in Vietnam, Vietnam suffered quite a bit before they reached to this point. They would have been a great, thriving nation, right? Now they're anything but, hey. But it's getting better now. But Burma, they don't want to be under the China wing because they know the danger. Well, yeah. I mean, we see what it's like living in China, And that's why those kids are holding these banners, saying that we don't want to be like North Korea. Yeah, they know.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
Mhm.
It's interesting because I see some issues with China, and I see them coming into our country, right, and doing things here. And I've had some people say, "Oh, you're racist." You know what I mean?
But racist is the word quite abused now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, wrongly abused too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah.
shuts down conversation really
Mhm.
quick,
Mhm.
you know, and but like we see what's going on with the Uyghur Muslims, you know,
Oh,
over
yeah.
there, all these
We were
things.
Muslim in China,
Hmm.
right? It's a concentration camp there,
For real, for real.
and nobody dare say anything about that.
Yeah. I saw a BBC reporter asked a representative from China about that. He shows them a video where all the Muslims with their shaved heads are getting put on these trains.
Yeah.
And he's asking them about it, and the guy goes, "I cannot see." He pretends he can't see the video.
Can't see the video. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Those, you know, and then it is a concentration camp going on in Xinjiang, China,
Right.
in 2021,
Yeah.
and nobody's dare say anything about it.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And like some of the stuff going on down here, like have you heard much about the COVID isolation camps that we've got here? Like the Radisson hotel chain is owned by China, and that is where they're detaining Canadians coming in from international flights, and it's tax money going right to China. And I see stuff like that going on, and I'm very concerned.
Same thing. They're selling the mask to us too.
Right? Yeah. They're manufacturing.
Probably the vaccine too. Yeah, they're gonna make money. Yeah. They created a good market for sure. Yeah.
See, you seem to get it, man.
It's true.
Yeah, I think so.
But what we're saying is not fluffy enough. Some people don't like it.
Right.
You know, so that's one thing about when I was in Burma. I visited Burma. I had a good discussion with my friends. I said, you if you want the freedom, make sure you really got the real freedom.
Right.
Right. But you don't want the freedom like freedom just a name, right? If you are a free person, you should be able to make a joke. I said. I said I've been to many countries. Certain countries they call it's a free world, but before you make a joke, you have to do a shoulder check.
Right.
I said shoulder check is only for driving. I said, you know, so in a free world, people should be able to talk to each other, right? You don't have to agree. You can disagree, but you don't have to get mad.
Right.
If you get mad and if you get offended, you can't live in the free world.
Right.
You will lead to a police state.
I think so.
Do I make sense?
100%, man. Yeah.
Nowadays, certain jokes you can't even make anymore because it's going to offend somebody.
Right.
I mean, I have 45 years, so back in the day, you don't like certain joke, I don't like that, and done. But nowadays, no, that's bad. And,
I got to get you fired now.
Yeah. That is not free world.
Yeah.
To me, it is a police state. To me, I mean.
I totally agree, man. Because I think that's a big problem out here is that we're not free in our minds. You know.
Exactly.
Our minds are caged, and there's like thought police that if you use certain words,
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
So I told Burmese people that my friends in Burma, you want freedom, you really want to be free, then you should be able to make joke without having doing a shoulder check, right? Then you're in the real free world.
Totally.
Otherwise, I can't write this. I can't say this.
Yeah.
People can disagree, but nobody should be offended.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we won't have anybody left. Who can say the truth.
Right.
Everybody just controlling themselves, right?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. you gotta be free. You gotta be free in this life.
You don't have to agree, right? Hey, buddy, I don't agree with you. That's fine. But don't get offended and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you can get offended, but it's like it doesn't mean it has to be everybody else's problem that you're offended, Sometimes people offend me, but that doesn't mean I need to, yell at them or It's just funny the mindset of a lot of people.
Yeah.
But what are the youth in Burma? Is there do you think any of it's fun? Like, are they maybe that's the wrong word, but I wonder, like, is it exciting at all what they're going through, or do you think it's just terror? Because I've seen in a lot of these movements and uprisings, there will be like a subculture with the youth where they'll have, their secret underground parties and stuff like that. Is there any of that, or do you think they're just fighting for their lives down there?
I wouldn't say yes or no, because but one thing I can say is that everybody has only one goal,
Right.
Even if they have a secret society, I'm fine with it because because every they have the same goal,
right?
So it doesn't bother me, right?
Yeah.
So far, because I don't live there, so I do not know the detail of it. I can only get the information out of Burma by friends sending me what's going on, So, but I do the basic nature of what's going on, of course, and I do 75% better than somebody.
Yeah, seems like you know your stuff, man.
I do because I was born and raised there. I was born in the socialist regime, under socialist regime.
And so I know how by the media, or sorry, by the military back then.
Of course.
Okay.
It was the military took over in 1962, right after the Civil War.
Okay.
But they didn't finish the Civil War completely. They left it on a bit on purpose,
right?
So that the government can claim, the regime can claim that we're still working on the law and order.
Oh,
we're not done yet.
Get it.
Right. It's everything's gone, right? You're out of business, so they have, they need to buy arms, and so they have to keep that a civil war at certain levels, so that so that if somebody asks, okay, your job is done because you can step aside. No, it's we're still working on it.
So they need a bit of war to justify their occupation.
Of course.
Wow, man. Wow.
Yeah. So they turn themselves into a different movement, and they form the Socialist Party.
Right.
And they take off their uniform and they pretend like a civilian.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. They pretended like a civilian, right? And then people got enough of it in 1988 when the mother came back to Burma, Aung San Suu Kyi. When she came back to Burma, the new movement started.
Right.
So in 1988 September, a new regime took over. New regime was guided by the old regime.
Oh.
They said, you guys took over. Okay, we'll just step out. You guys take care of it.
Okay.
And then they called themselves Law and Order Restoration Council. So they play the same game. They wanted to make sure there's some war around here and there. So they claim that we're still working on it, right?
Wow.
We're not stepping down, because there's something going on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
They're not stupid,
Yeah. Sounds a little bit like Afghanistan, a little bit like that.
Yeah.
It's
big time. Yeah.
Or kind of like when if you get prescribed one pill and it makes it so you have to take another pill to fix the side effect of the first pill.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Very
if you take vitamin D3, you need K2. Right. So that's what they're playing. Yeah.
Very interesting, man. Very interesting.
Yeah.
It seems like at these top levels of power, it's a lot of the same dynamics going on, same tricks, like the art of war kind of stuff going on.
So I would say they really need an intervention, like back in the day, UN did it for certain countries in Africa.
Rwanda, right?
Yeah, they really need it. Otherwise, they are going to they're going down the hill if they don't settle it on time.
Scary stuff, man. I have one last question for you,
Sure.
and it's probably a stupid question, but Myanmar and Burma, are they two different areas or
No,
what?
same.
It is the same.
Myanmar was given to the nation in 96 because the military government needed a new name because Burma was they considered it as a colonial name.
Okay.
It was given to them by the colonial government.
Okay.
In the British days. So they were creating the nationalist, whatever, persona or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they really wanted to create a nationalism, in front of fellow citizens. So they created a name. But it's true that when Marco Polo was in Burma, he did. In his book, it was called Mayan.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And that was 11th century.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they took that reference and became Myanmar.
Myanmar.
Yeah.
All right.
But a lot of country still call Burma.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to call Burma.
Sure.
Right? So some people, some Burmese people, even on purpose, refuse to call Myanmar.
Oh, is that right? Hey?
Because it was the name given to them by the military.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I can't imagine a military having that much power. That's
Of course, they got a gun.
I guess, hey, I guess. But I'm glad to hear that there's militias. I'm glad to hear that the people
Yes.
have guns down there at
Yes.
the very least. I mean,
Yeah. But I don't want to see it. I don't want to see them fighting again.
Of course.
Because that lady, Aung San Suu Kyi, has hard work. She had done a lot of hard work to get that peace.
Mm-hmm.
And now, here we go again. They're going to start fighting again.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good idea because it's not fruitful.
No, of course.
Right? Because only the people suffer. Right? So I don't want to see that again. And especially I worry, my greatest concern is these young people. And they were having a good time, and all of a sudden, they tried to shut down the internet 3-4 times now already.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, they
Wow.
brought in the Chinese
Censorship?
Chinese technicians into Burma,
Mm-hmm.
trying to work on shutting down the internet.
Wow.
So
Wow, man.
that's why certain information couldn't come out. I had to wait. I was waiting on on the net.
Yeah.
I was anxious to see a new news, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. And you see, in Burma, they don't want to be like China because I've been to China many times. They don't have internet in
Mhm.
China. They don't have internet
Well, don't they? Isn't it just censored really heavily, or
heavily. So they don't have things like Facebook,
right?
right? So people have a social media called WeChat.
Mm-hmm.
They use WeChat. It's heavily censored and monitored by the Communist Party.
Right.
Yeah. So it's bad there in China.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. People are, people are having some money. It's true, but not everybody.
Mhm.
You go to rural China, the poverty,
Oh yeah.
you weren't gonna believe it. Yeah. So
Don't doubt it.
yeah. So Burma don't want to become like China, right? And they don't want to have concentration camp either. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So Burmese political landscape is vast actually because a lot of languages are spoken,
Mm-hmm.
and Burmese people they want one thing clear is everybody wants to be treated exactly the same, and they don't want a group of people to be
Elevated.
privileged, and that kind of system doesn't fly with them.
Good.
So in certain country it flies, right? It flies. I don't know. For example, in certain countries, you guys don't even speak the nation language. Still fine. You stay in your own community. You have your own community leader. when the time comes, make sure you vote for me, right?
Right.
It works in certain countries. In
Yeah.
Burma, it doesn't fly that way.
Yeah, good for them, man.
Yeah,
Good for
they
them.
want everybody to be same, right? Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
They want you be one of us. That kind of mentality is in their blood.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's funny because it sounds almost nationalist, whereas the military are more nationalist than the
people are not nationalists. They just want to make sure that everybody is same.
Right.
Everybody is treated same,
Equal,
right? So everybody wants to be one of them.
right?
Needs to be one of them. That's it's there in their blood.
But is the military from foreigners, or is the military made up of the Burmese people?
Burmese people. Yeah.
Okay.
Burmese people. And up until 1962 was pretty much most of the high-rank officials are likely to be British.
Right.
But after the coup in 1962, the nationalist ideas were, rising on the rise in Burmese military. So they started to get rid of the, non-Burmese guys.
Right. Okay.
So that doesn't fly with Burmese people either. They didn't want that. They want that variety, right?
Mm-hmm.
The nationalist government became on the rise, especially in the 70s and 80s was the peak of that socialist government nationalism.
Right. Okay.
It was pretty much fueled by the China and Russia at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible, man. Well, I think that's probably a good time to call it. Hey, unless you got other stuff.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you, man. I feel way more knowledgeable for real, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I hope the people will walk away from it feeling the same.
Right on.
It's fascinating stuff, and I pray family out there too, man. I hope they.
Thank you very much.
I hope they stay safe.
Yeah.
All right, you people. It's another episode of the Red Pill Rapper Show on thoughtcrimes.ca.